Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. How are we doing tonight? I have a game here for you which is pretty long. It's a relatively lengthy match against an opponent by the name of Resync, which I took at my stream a while ago, a few months maybe. This is a fairly balanced match, I say, overall. If you look at the team setup, I didn't really have anything that I decided I wanted to bring in terms of an actual physical team that I'd built. So I took some defensive things, took some relatively powerful offensive things, slapped them together in a mix, and kind of decided to roll with it. And as you can see, my opponent kind of has the same thing going on, a couple of UUs in the mix, but the standard fare of OU stuff or overall dominating the field. But we're going to start off here, and a very poor play at the start for me. I was predicting a V-Create, and in hindsight, obviously, that wouldn't have been the best option for him. A U-turn would have been the most safe option, I guess, but he actually has the Will-O-Wisp, so he's going to be able to burn me and then U-turn out. Now, deciding that he wanted to go for the V-Create, I thought I could Roost, which is what I do, and I thought I'd be able to Earthquake him on the next turn, but obviously that doesn't happen because I get burned, and now I really can't do much. Now, the good thing about this team is that I have an Umbreon in the back of my pocket. Umbreon, obviously, is something that can carry Heal Bell, and mine just happens to carry the Heal Bell, which is fantastic. It means I can get rid of that burn at any time if I so wish to. Now, the good thing is that even if I didn't have an Umbreon, this Gliscor still isn't completely useless. It has Stealth Rock, which I managed to lay down on the field as soon as he U-turned out with a Victini, and it also has Toxic, so I can Toxic some things when and if I need to. But for the time being, I decided to go straight into Umbreon, hoping that I'm going to be able to get off the Heal Bell. Unfortunately, his Gliscor does carry the Taunt, which means I'm going to be shut down immediately, and I'm going to go straight back to my own Gliscor, not wanting to be Toxic or Statused in any way without having the ability to Heal Bell it off straight away. So I go back into Gliscor, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, he's probably not going to go for the Taunt again, so I'm going to go back to Umbreon, hopefully get off that Heal Bell and cure my Gliscor for later on so that it will be a bit more useful to me. So he actually is carrying the Facade, which is very interesting. It can work well on Gliscor, it's unstabbed and things, but it does have a niche in there, which is nice. And I'm thinking that he does want to just get my Umbreon, poison straight away, which is exactly what he does. Perfect. I get the Heal Bell off, not only making that single turn completely useless, but also removing the burn from Gliscor, which is pretty fantastic in my book. Now, obviously thinking that this Gliscor is going to once again either go for a Facade or a Toxic or just anything that Magnezone can take. I'm thinking Magnezone can take any of the things that this thing wants to go for, and so I go straight into it thinking Toxic's probably coming, but he does taunt me, meaning I can't set up a sub, and secondarily he's going to outspeed me and Earthquake me, which is something that I do not want to happen either. So I'm going to go straight to Dragonite, dodge the Earthquake, and I kind of get Premature here in my setup kind of ideal. He obviously has a full team backing him up. He still has a Ferrothorn, and he has a lot of things which are very dangerous. I decided to just go for the Dragon Dance anyway. I felt that I was pretty safe in doing so, and I wanted really to get rid of this Gliscor straight away because this thing poses a great threat to my team. It's really physically defensive, and a lot of the things that I brought which are offensive are all physically based, so getting rid of this Gliscor is going to be of utmost priority. Now, the one issue is obviously that he still has the Ferrothorn. He doesn't, however, have the Roost on Gliscor because it is a Poison Heal variant, so he is not going to be able to live another Outrage. He decided to Toxic my Dragonite just to get that extra damage and then go straight to Ferrothorn, not only to resist it, but also to get the residual Iron Barbs damage, possibly get up a Leech Seed, and also stall out with Toxic. So it works out very well for him in that situation, just banking on the fact that I don't get confused this turn, which unfortunately for him, I do. And because I do get confused this turn, it means that I'm going to be able to switch Dragonite out and save it for later. I obviously do still have Umbreon, so if I want to, I can get rid of that poison and just give Dragonite a second chance at sweeping later on, if it so happens to come to that. So I'm going to go into Magnezone, hoping to trap the Ferrothorn there, but he does see that coming, and he's going to switch out to his Victini, knowing that it was a very easy opportunity for me to switch straight to Magnezone and pretty much cripple the Ferrothorn. So, obviously, not wanting to take a V-Create, I really don't have anything on this team that wants to take one, barring Dragonite and Terrakion, but both Dragonite and Terrakion are offensively based, which means even if I brought them in, neither of them would take it nicely, and there's also the off chance that he would not go for the V-Create V-Create and predict and go for something like the Fusion Bolt or even a hidden power of which I wouldn't know what the hell it would be. So I go into Umbreon kind of as a last resort thing, not knowing kind of what I'm going to be able to do, and this Umbreon, let me tell you, is unexpected because it carries the Sucker Punch, which Victini definitely didn't expect coming. Not only did I live the V-Create, but also able to take advantage of that defense drop by running Stab Sucker Punch, which it cleans it out. Victini has very respectable defensive, very bulky poke. I don't have any attack investment in this thing, but a Stab Sucker Punch is going to do the job, which is fantastic. So he brings in Mew, and I guess he predicts the Sucker Punch again. I'm not quite sure what his thought process was there, switching out to Ferrothorn. I don't really know what he was going for, but he could have easily killed my Umbreon. I'm guessing he doesn't have an offensive move barring Psychic, which meant that he would probably have something like Will-O-Wisp and some sort of defensive setup moves, and Psychic is what I'm guessing, which is why he switched out. He couldn't really do anything against me, and maybe was hoping that I would switch, fearing a move from him, which I obviously don't. I go for the Heal Bell, and I managed to get that off, and then I go for the Wish, hoping to go either to Dragonite or even to stay in with Umbreon and get my health all the way back up to full. Unfortunately, the Ferrothorn has Leech Seeded me, which kind of minimalizes my survivability, and secondarily, I don't have Protect, which means I cannot for sure get my Umbreon back up to full health. So, what I'm going to do is going to take this opportunity, knowing that Ferrothorn will most likely stay in because he wants to see my Umbreon dead. I'm 100% sure that he's going to stay in with Ferrothorn, which means I get a safe switch into Magnezone, not only trapping the Ferrothorn, but allowing me to set up on it and dodging that Thunder Wave perfectly, which is absolutely fantastic. It now allows me to kill him with Hidden Power Fire, I believe is the hidden power of choice which I'm carrying. It makes the most sense to have on Magnezone simply because trapping steals is its job, and the HP Fire achieves that better than any other hidden power would. I suppose you can run HP Fighting, which deals with Ferrothorn relatively nicely, but the problem with Hidden Power Fighting is that it's not as powerful, obviously, on a Ferrothorn, and I guess it doesn't give you as much coverage on things which you want to be taken out, like Scizor and stuff like that. So, I don't know. HP Fire seems to fit the bill most of the time, which is good. So, as you can see, he does manage to break my sub with a Power Whip, a couple, I believe, of Power Whips or something along those lines, but I'm feeling that he's not going to be able to break it with another one, so I'm going to set up a sub again. Hopefully, he either misses or just doesn't break it, and in fact he is not going to be able to break the sub with another Power Whip, which is fantastic. Means that I can now outspeed him on the following turn, go for that Hidden Power Fire and clean Ferrothorn out of my way, which is great. Now the fact that Ferrothorn is now dead really leaves me an open window with Dragonite, because he no longer has anything to resist the Outrage, meaning that if I can get Dragonite in on an open window, find some kind of niche in which I can throw him out into battle, get a free Dragon Dance going on, then I'm pretty sure that from that point onwards I should be able to clean the game up. So Victini, obviously, why did I say I said Victini? Because he brought in Vic. That threw me off. Stop nicknaming your Pokemon weird things, this guy. Anyway, Dragonite comes in. Dragonite obviously being the one thing that can stop my Dragonite, and I kind of forgot about that. So knowing that he has to break my sub, it gives me an opportunity to kind of scout his moveset a bit, and also sort of understand what kind of Dragonite he's running, whether he's offensive, defensive, all that kind of good stuff. And I managed to get off a Toxic. Unfortunately for me, he is in fact carrying the Lumberry, which means that gets rid of that straight away. But I do see that his offensive move, which is best against Magnezone, is Fire Punch, telling me that he doesn't carry the Earthquake. Otherwise, he would have most likely gone for that. It would have taken Magnezone out straight away. Unfortunately for me, I hit a turn where not only does he burn me with Fire Punch, he also manages to dodge the next Toxic, and now allows him a window in which he can get up a free Dragon Dance. So I kind of expected him to just kill me with a Fire Punch at that point, which is why I just kind of go for Thunderbolt without really thinking about it. And unfortunately for him, you know, he's going to bring him down pretty low. He's taking the opportunity to Dragon Dance and not take me out. But at this point, I'm pretty sure that he's going to want to Roost, because otherwise he leaves himself exposed to my extreme speed from my Dragonite, or just any kind of move that's kind of low base power with priority. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to Roost, which gives me this window now to get the Toxic off, and his Dragonite is now pretty much crippled. He can no longer rely on multi-scale, which is fantastic, and he will eventually be taken down. And I actually have the perfect thing to bring in, which will be able to not only stop him setting up, but also allow him to just not really dent my team, which is good. So he does finish me off finally with that Fire Punch, and now I'm going to bring in my Gliscor. And Gliscor can't necessarily stop Dragonite from Dragon Dancing, but it has enough bulk to the point at which if he wants to keep Dragon Dancing, you know, I can relatively well live it from full HP if I Roost all the way up to full. Added to the fact that he has Poison going on for him, which is going to chip away at his health all the time, little by little. Just take him down, and he's going to wind up hitting himself in Confusion in the end, dying from Outrage, and in the end of that scenario, I come out of it with a full health Gliscor, and he goes out of it one less Dragonite. So at this point, I'm feeling okay. I'm thinking the Mew's going to do something to my Gliscor that I probably won't like, something like a Will-O-Wisp, which is why I go into Umbreon at this point is pretty much death fodder. It should have really died a long time ago, but kind of had that last lease of life in it, and was able to get off some Heal Bellin and some Wishing before it did go down. This opportunity here with the Will-O-Wisp, but as its last breath closes in on it, it's actually able to get off a Synchronize with a Will-O-Wisp, which is fantastic. Allows me to completely burn the Mew and get that thing even more crippled than it already potentially would have been. So now I'm going to go into Infernape, and I'm going to U-turn straight out on that thing, do as much damage as I can with the Life Orb U-turn, and kind of scout as to what this Mew wants to do. Now, Mew, being a weird kind of thing, has lots of moves, but one of those being Transform, which kind of annoys me a little bit, because I did go straight into my Gliscor, which now actually gives him a healing move. Slightly frustrating there, because he is now able to get up the Roost and get himself up, you know, get the HP going up and things like that, which I'm not a big fan of. But what I do have in the back of my pocket, of course, is the Dragonite, which is still alive from earlier and no longer has the Toxic on it because of the Heal Bell. So I think at this point he has his own Gliscor, and he has an Espeon left. So I'm thinking get up a Dragon Dance and I should be good to go from there. So I get one up, and he's going to withdraw here. I'm surprised he didn't go for the Toxic, to be perfectly honest with you. But hey, that's his loss. I managed to get up a second Dragon Dance, and at this point I feel that I am confident in taking out the rest of his team. His Mew no longer is a Gliscor, which means that first of all I'm going to kill the Gliscor with extreme speed, not knowing whether I would get a 3-turn Outrage, and then follow up with an Outrage not only on the Mew but also on the Espeon for a guaranteed 2 turns and a guaranteed kill. So that's going to be the game. Dragonite does pull out of the bag in the end. I was able to set him up correctly and get him in and finish things up nicely. So I guess that's how it goes sometimes. It's the game. It was a little bit of a longer one. I don't have these too often, but they are relatively interesting when they do come around. So do let me know if you enjoyed it, if you would like to see more of these in future, and otherwise I guess I'll see you guys next time. You can leave a like if you did enjoy. Otherwise, that's all I'm going to say. Goodbye.